he made the blade invisible, but that would be cool.
Bro, honestly, what they should have done, they should have somehow just had Zabuza be way stronger, to where he's stronger than Kakashi, clearly. And through their own means, they reach their own end. Maybe Haku kills him or something. That's bigger. It doesn't matter. Another discussion for another day. Either way, have Zabuza be hyped up as like this greatest, strongest threat, similar to Orochimaru in Part 1, to where Kisame should have been sated in Shippuden to be the second coming of Zabuza. To give Kisame that grandiose feeling of strength going into Shippuden. And he grows even stronger and stronger from Part 1 especially.
In that case, I think I would make a couple of modifications. So first, Kakashi's not rusty. We're just going to get rid of that because we need to. So they're both going to get upscaled. Second, so in this case, Kakashi can just, instead of going from rusty to not rusty, he'll just get stronger for the Itachi Kisame show up part. You know what I mean? He'll just get stronger.
Yeah.
That's the first change. Second, Zabuza could still just be caught off guard by Kakashi.
Oh,
so this
true.
is actually very minimal. It's just going to be basically the story as is, but with a little bit of an amplification and the plot like very much like clear. So the first fight, Zabuza is just literally caught off guard. He just doesn't know that as much about the Sharingan. Like, he knows it's strong, but he doesn't know a lot. So Kakashi does just out-trick him. And then in the second fight, Zabuza has his plan. So Zabuza just is stronger, and he is just blatantly winning, kind of like he already is, but like even more.
Yeah.
Why does Kakashi win? Well, the mental nerf to Haku dying or whatever. You're just gonna get so Kakashi comes up with a crazy big brain strategy to get Zabuza kind of like beaten, and then you basically just amplify some of these things, and I think it can work so that.
And in this case, Zabuza the mental nerf is there. Like, shout out Sage of Thick Calves.
Like really there, like it's just there's no way.
Where there's no debate.
Even though I think it is there, I think it's already pretty clear. But it's gonna be.
If it's there, then Naruto's chalk no jutsu is useless. It ruins the narrative.
I don't think that's true.
I'm just throwing things out there, but it's at least slightly there. Like, it can at least make the argument.
It definitely doesn't ruin the narrative at all. Like, the only difference would be just making Zabuza do a 180, just point blank period, or letting just basically, it just depends on like mask related discussion, narrative mask discussions, but ignoring that, okay, in this case, you upscale Kakashi anyway, so Kakashi can just be almost Sani level. So he kind of is, but like in this case, we just make it clear Kakashi is just a little bit weak. Like, the Sannin are just a little bit above Kakashi. So he can still be scared of Orochimaru. He thinks he's got a chance because of the Zabuza fight. And it's kind of like a slap in the face when you get there. It's like Orochimaru could even have a line being like, Kakashi, you only beat Zabuza because of blah, blah, blah. Like, you know, kind of thing. And then Kakashi can be like, he's right, you know? You can do stuff like that. In this case, though, we're having the second coming discussion. Zabuza literally tried to assassinate the Mizukage. So he is the perfect setup to just be Kage level. And when Kakashi sees him, he can be thinking like, guys, stay back. This isn't just a Jonin. This guy could take on a Kage. We even just rewrite it to where he literally fatally injures the Mizukage. Actually, two ways you can do this. One is he almost kills the Mizukage. The Mizukage just barely lives.
Real quick.
Ends up leaving because the whole village is after him. Or rewrite it. Zabuza just kills the fourth Mizukage, and that's why Mei is the fifth Mizukage. Zabuza is known for killing a Kage. You can just do that.
Okay, real quick.
And then,
because this hypes up Yagura anyways, two factors on this. First factor is this already works for Kisame, because we could just say he's the second coming of Zabuza for a couple reasons. One, his strengths. Two is 7 Ninja Swordsman. 3 is, again, the assassination of at least people in his own village. In this case, Zabuza became a traitor, not missing nin, but traitor nin? What's the exact term?
Rogue ninja.
Rogue ninja? Shut up. It became that, just like how Kisame did when he slaughtered his whole crew. So it could be similar to that. Another factor, rewriting
technically,
this.
that's not what made Kisame a rogue ninja. It's more when he killed Fuguki and Yagura's like, hey, I told you to do that. And
well,
then
exactly.
Obito's
Yeah.
like, hey, I actually controlled Yagura.
Exactly. Yeah. So okay, rewriting this, you're gonna love this. So remove Juzo Biwa. He doesn't exist. Itachi goes with Kisame to go kill Yagura, and Kisame would want to do this anyways, considering regardless of Itachi or Akatsuki shenanigans, his previous encounter with Yagura, where Obito was there, etc., etc. So he has like some relationship already established.
In his mind, like, because in this case, Yagura cannot be under the Genjutsu, and in Kisame's mind, it's like, you're not even the real Mizukage to me, kind of thing.
Yeah. So when this scene happens, obviously Kisame doesn't die like Juzo Biwa. They just both retreat, similar to how they did when they failed to capture Naruto. In fact, you can do, if you want to go with this route, you can go with more Itachi double spy shenanigans in this case, whereas that just wasn't there originally. Not only that, but you get to even more so showcase Yagura's hype and power as a Jinchuriki / Kage, and in fact, Yagura during the scene can mention, "Aha, this is the power I use to send away Momochi Zabuza." It'd be similar to like what Hashirama was doing to Kakazu in that case, just hyping him up so much. So cool.
It depends on which. I mean, basically, it depends on who you want to hype up more. You can have it be Yagura beat Zabuza and he left with injuries, of course.
Bro, they were hyping Yagura up as like one of
Yagura.
one of three Jinchuriki. It was Naruto B and Yagura, and they just did nothing with it.
I know. It's so random that they even had Yagura be able to control the three tails. Like, why?
Like, it's not even true, realistically, given the events that we got. It's just stated. Doesn't make sense.
Well, he can control it. Doesn't mean he's friends with Isobu, but
I know, but still.
Really, yeah, but Isobu's it's just dumb. Why do it? What was the point of doing that? So, again, though, who would you rather? So, how would you rather do it though? Is it that Zabuza injured Yagura, but Yagura won the fight and Zabuza had to flee, or Zabuza literally just kills Yagura in this rewrite? Where we're hyping up Zabuza and everyone.
Well, no, it'd be the same to where Zabuza just failed. I don't see why we would change that.
Okay. But he was able to almost kill him, so that's like the feat for Zabuza here. Okay.
Yeah, so in this case like it's upskilling both Zabuza and Yagura. Kisame's the same, but later on he's even stronger. Or you could just hype up Kisame starting off to where I'm actually going to change it. Instead of Shippuden, this should be said during Kisame's introduction. Because we already know Itachi's that guy. Yeah, this is just another way to get Kisame to be that guy. Like, oh my god. So, because it's similar to, I know you haven't seen Dragon Ball, but it's similar to like Vegeta and Nappa, to where you have like one guy who's like the guy, the strong guy, and then like the other guy who's not the strong guy. But the weaker guy of the two is still the strong guy, because he's like Zabuza level, who was over Kakashi. So it's like, if Kisame's that strong, how strong is Itachi, who doesn't even have to do anything, considering how strong Kisame is? It's crazy.
Yeah, so like we're just upping, because it already is the case. Like they already said, like, oh, this is another 7 ninja swordsman. He did all these things, and he's with so they're already doing that. We're just amplifying it. So in this case, and this actually works with the Kakashi upskill. So Kakashi is, like I said, just close to signing, not quite there. Kakashi sees himself as being able to fight like alongside a Kage, even though he's not the Hokage. And the signing are supposed to be a little bit stronger than the Kage, at least, because Orochimaru's killing him all the time. So that works. Kakashi just is Kage level, same with Guy, obviously. And so Kakashi's walking into this like, yeah, I got this. I beat Zabuza. I can take him on. Maybe Kisame or Itachi can have a line being like, like, oh, you didn't actually beat Zabuza, fair score, whatever. It doesn't really matter. The point is Itachi's then just going to show how much stronger he is than even Kakashi. And this is fine because Itachi's also the guy who's beating Orochimaru, who's supposed to be stronger than Kakashi anyway. So, like, You know, like this works anyway. It's not a problem. You don't even need to change Itachi in this game.
Yeah, no,
like,
that
you still would be
works.
able to do it.
Because in this case, Orochimaru is already stronger than Kakashi. We know that. In this case, we'd be wondering who's strongest between Kisame, Zabuza, and Orochimaru. Orochimaru could probably be on top anyways, but it'd just be really interesting in that case.
Yeah.
So it's like those tiers of power.
Yeah, and you just see that everyone's like all on that level, and then obviously because Kakashi wasn't actually Zabuza's level, it comes back in the war arc, and you just now Zabuza is at full power basically. The only problem is Kakashi gets so much stronger that like.
Well, no, that's a perfect demonstration, even more so, of Kakashi's strength. Right now, he beats Zabuza as is in canon, and then gets stronger, and then fights Edo Zabuza, who's weaker. It's like, oh, I've got way stronger since back then. No, in this case, Kakashi's starting weaker than him, and then he goes on to fight him in the war arc, and it's like beating him because he's stronger than him, showing his growth.
Yeah, you know, actually, that's fine, because not only that, this then makes his war arc feats later on less ridiculous, because Kakashi starts so much stronger, so just throughout the story, he's just gonna progress to war Kakashi level more naturally.
Yeah. Good point.
And then like David Guy, it's just like Guy's not just gonna randomly go from being like equal to Kakashi without the gates, and then it's just like 7th gate guys equal to Kakashi. No, they're just gonna progress more normally.
It's also a better representation of the stepping stone, that goalpost the next generation is striving for to equal or surpass.
Yeah, and then this is also another Pain upscale badass moment. Like obviously, as it is, he beat Jiraiya, he beats Kakashi. That's cool, and Pain would still be able to beat Kakashi in this rewrite. It just becomes that much more cool and impactful.
Yeah, this gives Kakashi more reason to have his credentials that he has, more reason to hype him up.
Yeah, or frankly, Kakashi could just be equal to Jiraiya in this case, or even then, you could have Kakashi surpass Jiraiya by this point. It's still not enough, so Naruto has to really surpass.
I like
that really takes away from Jiraiya, though, if you start doing that. But
I'm fine with that. Okay.
At the very least, you could at least have Kakashi and his help be better than Jiraiya, like with the Choza help.
It's so unbelievable how monumental this makes the story better for such a small, insignificant, nothing change. That being said, it is a change nonetheless, and we are taking away one of like the biggest things Suigetsu has. So addressing the elephant in the room, there's a couple ways to fix this. I'm curious what you have. I'm going to present my case first. I think what you could give him...
From what perspective? In terms of what we're going to do with Suigetsu now, or ignoring the whole rewrite and addressing how we're going to fix Suigetsu?
Well, no, including... So the rewrite in mind. The rewrite in mind, what we're doing with this rewrite is we're just taking away something from Suigetsu and giving it to Kisame, which works in tandem with so many other characters as well. But we are taking that away from Suigetsu. We could just leave Suigetsu as is, but I feel like that just diminishes Suigetsu even to the smallest degree. So, like, I know. I know, but just to be fair, just taking the story as is, if we're taking away from Suigetsu as this is, for this rewrite specifically, we should just focusing on this rewrite, not a different rewrite. We should just add something to Suigetsu anyways, just to give him something back.
Okay.
Yeah, so just for, at least for this clip, we could do another Suigetsu rewrite.
Mention it as a funny thing.
Yeah, okay, then you do yours first.
Kisame is supposed to be the second coming of Zabuza, right?
Oh no.
So Suigetsu can be the second coming of Kisame. Or the third coming of Zabuza.
Yeah, I was gonna say third coming of Zabuza. I was thinking second coming of Kisame. Second, that's funny. But that gives them even more reason to fight during the Sasuke and Itachi fight. Then there you go. Which in that case, that's another way, right? Give them an actual fight.
Successor to Zabuza.
Yeah, they're fighting over. Okay, that's not what I was gonna do. That's funny. So much so that I almost want to go with that over my serious one. So I was gonna give them basically not something brand new, but something to focus on. And this is going to get into other things that we can get into, but I was just basically going to give him something...
I thought another funny one.
Okay, we'll do yours first, since mine's more serious. Go ahead, do yours.
Okay. So now Kisame is the second coming of Zabuza.
Uh-huh.
Suigetsu will be the second coming of Yagura.
I was actually thinking the same thing.
Yeah, so that's all the more reason for them to fight. It's just like Zabuza and Yagura. Suigetsu's got a hairstyle similar to Yagura. It's like,
So in this case, what is Suigetsu? The fourth coming of Yagura?
no, he'd just be the second coming of Yagura in this case.
Okay, whatever. Either way, we got a whole chain. Plus, this works for like the generational thing they're going for, anyways, which I think would be cool. But regardless of that, so back to mine. So giving him a serious thing, I would give him a very similar, if not the same thing as what Sai's whole narrative is with his brother in the war arc. So the whole time we get Suigetsu on screen with like Team Taka fighting with Sasuke, fighting Killer Bee, etc. He's trying to live up to the hype of his brother Mangetsu, who died. He misses his brother and all that. His brother, the legendary Shinobi. Basically. He could be the second coming of Mangetsu. That could work too. But then again, once we get to the war arc, you can actually do something there to where instead of Team Taka just being wherever until they regroup with Sasuke randomly, coincidentally after the Itachi and Kabuto stuff, in this case, you're giving them a reason to show up where they do, when they do. In this case, they just are fighting in the war. At least Suigetsu is. I don't care where Jugo and Karin are. They could be fighting on their own battle or with Suigetsu. Either way, Suigetsu is fighting his brother. Yeah.
Kabuto can sense insanely well. So have Suigetsu and Jugo on the way. Kabuto senses it, and he directs Edo Tensei specific to them to get in the way.
Oh,
you're going to love this first half. Kimimaro comes in to fight Jugo, while Mangetsu comes to fight Suigetsu. Mangetsu and Kimimaro never get sealed, so they are literally available in universe.
Okay. If this is the case, we're gonna remove the 7 ninja swordsmen fighting Kakashi and Guy and that whole platoon. We'll have Zabuza there, that's fine. Really, you're gonna have Mangetsu versus Suigetsu, and I guess like the other 6, 5, 4 ninja swordsmen, whatever, fighting Jugo and Karin. And then for Kakashi and Guy, Kakashi is obviously fighting Zabuza and Haku. Guy, you could just reincarnate, or Edo Tensei, I should say. You should Edo Tensei Kisame for him to fight.
Oh.
Might as well.
Well, if you're going to do that, then I want to change it so that, again, I don't like B having Samehara anyway. So after Kabuto just sneaks up and snatches it.
Yes.
After he's got freaking Manda 2, running around the sea there anyway. Just have Manda 2 swallow up Samehara or something. Yes. And then Kisame gets resurrected. The Kabuto just immediately does it. And then now Kisame has Samehara for the rematch with Guy. So the 7th gate has to fight an even stronger Kisame.
Thank you. I also I have another one that you might like. Instead of just Manda swallowing Suigetsu and he gets them later, or sorry, Samehara. So in this case, what if after Kisame dies, Samehara just falls in like the greatest depression of all time? Like you get to see the most pouty lips, frowny lips ever. It's like he's just like slouched over. He turns more gray, almost looks like he's dying the whole time he's with B. The second Kisame gets Edo Tensei from like across the world or whatever, you just see Samehara like perk up and just like fly out of B's hand. Like let's just say in the middle of the Itachi fight or whatever, like he's gonna cut the fireball. You just hear Samehara like bark and like start panting with his tongue out, just like flies to Kisame.
Okay, I'm down for that, as silly as that is. Another one would be that, so when Kisame dies, Samehara dies too, because Samehara decides to feed himself to those sharks as well. and then
I have one.
Edo Tensei Samehara.
No, okay. This is a good metaphor, going back to Kisame's introduction with his whole thing with the sharks eating each other in the womb talking to Itachi. Samehara eats Kisame.
Oh,
there you go.
Okay, that's actually better.
Yeah.
So, I like this. Kisame, it's when he does the summoning jutsu, it actually summons Samehara away from B, and he goes into the water prison, and then Samehara reluctantly eats Kisame.
Bro, regardless of everything else, that just is good on its own. That is so good. Instead of stupid water sharks.
I'll add another thing you could do. You know, like the when Guy picks up the scroll and then it brings out a shark or whatever, and its shark swims away. Yeah. In this case, instead of that trap, Samehara is going to honor Kisame. And Samehara then jumps out and grabs the scroll from Guy, and then Samehara swims away back to the hideout. And that's how Kabuto gets Samehara for when he Edo Tensei. And then Samehara will still have a piece of Kisame's flesh for Kabuto to Edo Tensei.
Yes, bro, I love that. Oh my god.
Dude,
Okay.
Makes Samehara even better, too.
So going back, I feel like it's almost better if Team Taka doesn't fight as a team, but has individual fights, just so we can give them a little bit more spotlight on their own. It's a little bit late, but at least they're getting something before the war arc really progresses into Night 2. So it's going to be like Sasuke Retrieval Tour, like, oh, I'll leave this one to you. You go on ahead, because they're going to go to Kabuto. So in this case, Suigetsu's going to stop to fight Mangetsu. We'll have to figure out about Karin, but the final one would be Jugo confronting Kimimaro, obviously. And I feel like this has to be where Kabuto is. Like, he's going to be the last one, because we also want Sasuke to meet up with Kimimaro for our other Kimimaro rewrites.
Okay, so in this case, the Team Taka is going to be together going to Kabuto, you mean?
Yes, but they're going to like stop to fight for their individual fights. Because Kabuto's going to do like individual Edo Tensei to stop them all, but the other two are going to go on, and then the other one's going to go on.
Okay. Couple options here. One, just don't even have Karin there. She gets captured anyway. Like, so Sasuke can just be with the other two members, and just there is no Karin. It's the simplest option. Especially since he just betrayed her anyway. It would be weird for Sasuke to stab her and then take her. So, you know, it's understandable for the other two, but Karin, he did just stab her.
Well, maybe that's what Suigetsu and Jugo were doing after the 5 Kage summit. Like, forget Orochimaru and Sasuke going to the Leaf Village to say, I do like Sasuke going to the Leaf Village, just so we can get that one iconic shot and to see what he does in the Leaf Village. But maybe just like Jugo and Suigetsu. I don't care if they're fighting the filler moms from the one War Arc episode where they're having to defend the village from the thugs or whatever. Give them something to where they go rescue Karin, so that at least they're all together, so then they can go to Kabuto after. I don't know. That's my idea, anyways.
That could be an option. Like, maybe Jugo can sense Sasuke, and Suigetsu's pissed at Sasuke for ditching them, and he goes to get Karin, and then they go to Sasuke.
I was wondering who we were going to have them fight. If they're going, they should get resistance. I know the perfect person. In this case, Karin is going to be the one to allow the others to escape and go to Kabuto. So the one who's going to stop Team Talk in this case isn't going to be an Edo Tensei. It's going to be everyone's favorite person that they wanted to see going forwards. It's going to be Kurenai. A Leaf person trying to stop this prison escape. Yes, right? Isn't that cool? In fact, you can throw Konohamaru in there with them.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was not what I expected, but honestly, yeah, that's fine.
And plus that works, considering Karin doesn't have to kill him anyways. She can just use her chains to lock them up regardless. This is the first time she uses her chains, maybe. Just like how Kushina did to those two Anbu. That can be how the fight ends anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah, that works. That gives them at least one more thing.
Okay.
I like that.
I'd be fine with that.
Cool. I'm
and
glad
that obviously this Jugo will be the last one to set up the Kimimaro thing for that rewrite. Obviously, in this case, you can't do the Asuma rewrite where Kurenai is fighting Asuma. You would just have it be Shikamaru Ino versus Choji and Asuma in this case.
Yeah. Well, that's a whole other thing at that
Unless
point.
you want to just have it be Konohamaru versus Karin.
This is just its own individual rewrite. If it plugs into the others, great. If not, then whatever. We could try to make it plug in, but if it doesn't, we don't have to, like, go against it. At the very least, we're just getting all the ideas out there. All the puzzle pieces, regardless of how they
at the
fit together.
very least, I want Samehara eating Kisame and then bringing the scroll to Kabuto with a piece of Kisame's flesh so you can be Edo Tensei.
Yes, bro. I love it. Bro. Oh my god, that's all good. I think that's great all on that.
Okay, one more question with that in mind. So you know how, like, there is a potential problem here, obviously, which I'll address. But you know how, like, Kakashi and Guy show up early before the Edo Tensei are undone? Would you like to have Guy and Kisame just be a stalemate in this case? Like, so like Kisame with Samehara just is a stalemate to Guy? Or would you want Guy to still win again?
I think that works, considering they fight there all day. In this case, it would just be the Ceiling Corpse isn't there, or the Ceiling Core die. So they just have to, like, fend off until the Edo Tensei are
That's what I was gonna say, but this means one of two things. Either Kakashi alone is gonna show up early to save Naruto there, or Itachi's gonna undo Edo Tensei, and then Kakashi and Guy don't show up until after that.
Yeah. I think either way, you could still keep Zabuza and Haku drifting away, breaking the Edo Tensei themselves based on their own conviction or whatever, just like how Hanzo does. I think a few others do it as well. You could still have that. Like, that doesn't have to change. But, yeah. Just want to mention that.
Unless you want to have Kisame break the Edo Tensei himself. Like, maybe he decides he doesn't... Like, because of his death and then his fight with Guy again, something happens with Kisame's character...
No, I got it.
He just is ready to move on.
We're gonna shift something over, and this is the smallest shift over since this just happened anyways. The reason Kisame, breaks his Edo Tensei is because Guy remembers his name.
Oh,
yes.
Okay, you know what?
Yes.
I'm fine with that. Like they're fighting all day, and at some point, Guy acknowledges his name. Okay, this would be really stupid if Kisame finally beat Guy, kind of. Like, he doesn't kill Guy, but, like, he finally gets the win in their spar.
Yeah.
And Guy is like, I will never forget you, Kisame, or something. And then like, Kisame's like, you remembered my name. He starts crying a tear of joy. And Tim Samehara go away.
Oh my god, bro. It's so good.
That's funny.
Plus,
in this case, do we want to have Conan get reanimated too to do something?
At this point, we might as well. What does she do though? I don't know what she would do.
That's the problem. Like, because her and Kisame are the only ones who just. Oh, and Hidan. You know what? Fuck it. If Hidan's gonna fucking die of fucking malnutrition, why the hell isn't he getting reanimated? Like, honestly, because I feel like it. See, this is another instance to where. You know, like Sage said, the data books aren't written by Kishimoto after the first or the first two. I can't remember if he wrote the second. Mm-hmm. Kishimoto, I think in the manga, Hidan just is alive, but in the data book, he's dead. Because it doesn't make sense for Kabuto not to revive him. Like, bro found everyone's bodies across the... He can find Hidan.
To be fair, in the anime, at least he did die, considering he was Edo Tensei. In the Chikara movie.
Yeah, but he was Edo Tensei with like a different jutsu. It was like the snake. It was like a clone type thing. It wasn't Edo Tensei. It was
but
a
it
different
was
jutsu
Hidan,
that he used for Hidan.
at the very least.
It was Hidan, yeah, but it was like a different jutsu, which just also goes to show that it seems like Hidan wasn't supposed to be dead.
I don't know about all that. But,
Well, I honestly, I think it should have either been that Hidan just is still alive, that's why he's not Edo Tensei, or Kabuto Edo Tensei.
I low-key want to go rewatch that movie just for Hidan's part again.
Oh, absolutely. Dude, Hidan and Deidara was hilarious, bro. The best part.
I know. Oh my god. Okay.
I liked Kabuto in that movie. It was cool.
Yeah. The real question is, where would we put Conan in this case? Because with Nagato and Itachi could work, as weird kind of as it is, but it could work. I feel like you could throw her there. You could throw her just randomly in like the sand division, the desert, to fight Gaara or something.
Yeah, the problem is, okay,
give her a rematch with Shino.
There's limited spots to put Conan. Some of them are goofy, so narratively, I feel like with Nagato and Naruto, it just makes the most sense. But
I got something. So
I had okay.
Narratively, just like Kishimoto, like almost like tapping his nose, just nodding to the fan base at their frustration that Team Guy was out of the village. Have Neji, Tintin, and Lee fighting Conan.
Okay,
there you go.
Okay, that's one,
and that's better than Neji just being taken over by a Zetsu. Just replace that with this.
I agree. Yeah, okay, I like that one. For a moment, I thought you were gonna say have Conan fight Hinata, Sakura, and Ino like the anime opening that aggravated everyone.
That's
Or
foreshadowing.
have her rematch Shino.
Bro, she could do that too. Yeah, I either option because okay, if we're doing the fighting the girl thing, then we're just removing the Sakura Zetsu filler chapter where it was like fake Neji.
Just Sakura will just be fighting Conan with Ino and Hinata.
Get rid of that trash filler
or
nonsense.
the Team Guy one. Granted, in this case though, Guy won't be there. It'll be Rock Lee, Neji, and Tenten because Guy's gonna fight Kisame.
I still can't believe that's in the manga. Unbelievable. Bro, when you have freaking Hayate and Yugao as filler, and you have Sakura versus Zetsu Neji as canon, I don't want to hear the canon filler arguments.
Yeah, you honestly,